Hi Gemini, how are we today? Just doing our weekly readings. This week we're doing the monthly readings. So looking ahead at October, what the month has in store for you. Make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. Click that notification button so you're not missing out on any uploads. And, refer a friend, all that sort of fun stuff. Leave a comment. Let me know if there's anything specific you'd like me to do a reading on for you. I'll definitely take that on board. But today I do have a few decks going because we are doing the monthly overview. We're just sort of having a bit of a general kind of look at the month and see what is most important for you to know, what wants to flag itself up as messages for you. So we will be starting off with the Mystic Dreams Oracle. Okay, I also have the Career and Money Oracle deck here, the Mystic Red Rose Love Oracle. Okay, and clarifying everything today, we have the Primitive Lenormand. All right, so getting sort of straight on into it for you, Gemini. All right, Gemini, what is going on for our Geminis throughout October? Main energy of October for Gemini, please. October 2025 for Gemini. Okay, Gemini, we're starting off with this very interesting two sides kind of energy there. Okay, so we do see two sides, cluttered mind and smoke screen. So certain things being a little bit hidden from your personal perspective, that there's kind of two sides to every story this month, that there is a little bit of extra noise going on in your mind this month where it may be a little bit difficult for you to really pinpoint things and see both sides of a situation. There's kind of like that smoke screen in front of your thoughts this month, and it's sort of confusing you a little bit, cluttering your mind with this overthinking kind of energy. I will clarify that and see exactly what that is in regard to. We do see there too the masculine and the feminine, sort of facing away from each other. So there is this energy of just being in a little bit of conflict with yourself. Should I go this way? Should I go that way? Do I feel this way? Do I feel that way? Kind of a little bit of both. Definitely embracing the Gemini twins energy for yourself this month. Okay. Kind of feeling in two minds about everything this month and not really pinpointing exactly which mind is taking the lead here. The good twin or the bad twin, Gemini. Clarify this energy for Gemini. October 2025, please. Definitely seeing that smoke screen energy coming through again. We do start off here with the Scythe and the Fox. Okay. So this Scythe energy starting off there, it's kind of like talking about breaking patterns and trying to be very logical about things, but struggling, I suppose, is probably the best way to put that you are trying to sort of break free from old patterns and instigate new patterns within yourself, especially in regards to this Fox energy. The Fox is, very intelligent, clever kind of energy. It's trying to do the most rational, logical things in situations, in order to turn situations into what is best for you and your own survival in the situation. But it's kind of showing us that there's this war here between putting others first and putting yourself first this month. And that's probably where a lot of this confused energy is coming from, because the rational, logical part of your mind, the independent part of yourself, is kind of trying to tell you, no, you need to do what's right for you, Gemini. But then the old pattern, the part of yourself that's kind of popping up going, oh, but what about what they need, what about what they want, and their perspective of the situation. And so you're really struggling to balance both of these this month. And it does seem to be kind of a part of this breaking of a cycle for you here. So some of you may have noticed certain patterns or cycles that you've been stuck in the past with the way that you, look out for others versus look out for yourself. And you're kind of struggling between this energy of, am I selfish if I do this, or is it just doing what I actually need to do for myself? And it becomes a bit of a struggle here to, just even within your, it seems to be very much just within your own mind here, with making choices and decisions on how you're moving forward with things. We do also see the incense burner. Okay, so we do see that smoke coming through once again, and clouding things in front of your logic, and making things sort of seem a little bit more convoluted and confused than they may necessarily need to be this month. But the interesting thing about the incense burner is that when that clears, it's a very cleansing thing, because you know that you have sort of looked at both sides of the situation. Yes, you allowed yourself to get confused and a little bit, wrapped up in all these different options here, and cluttered with all the overthinking there. But you do know that once that smoke clears, you sort of have that peace of mind of knowing that you have considered sort of all different angles of the situation. And so whatever way you do then move forward, you do sort of know that it is ultimately, you've worked out what's going to be the best for you and your personal survival here. So with the scythe, though, there may be a lot of sudden changes in your thinking, and sort of overthinking in one direction, and then bang, all of a sudden we're overthinking in another direction, and we're trying to break free from certain behaviors and actions that we've done in the past, and trying to make very quick changes. But it's kind of this energy of like, that's what leaves you confused and cluttered, is because you're kind of trying to enact too many changes all at once, whereas you do need to just maybe slow it down, and rather than overthinking and thinking at a very fast, cluttered pace, slow it down and slow down the process, and actually think things through until they clear, and until that smoke clears a little bit, and that enables you to actually think very clearly through these things, rather than in a very quick, convoluted kind of a way, because it just feels like very hurried thinking, but overthinking. So you've got too many things that you're thinking through all at once, rather than just slowing down and stopping and looking at one thing and then thinking that through very clearly, and then then moving on to the next sort of thought in the process here. So it may just be a bit of a month where you sort of are struggling a little bit, just in your own mind, two sides of your mind sort of warring against each other this month a little bit. It's not really wanting to talk about what specifically that's in regard to. It's just talking more about just the way that you're thinking within your own self this month. But we'll have a look at career for you as well. What's going on for Gemini throughout October with career and money? We are using the career and money oracle, so I will just ask for career and money answers for Gemini in October. What are the answers Gemini needs in regards to career and money for October? We start off with the turtle. Okay, money coming slowly but steady progress. All right, so it's slow but steady coming forwards there. So you think of that old thing about the tortoise and the hare. So the tortoise eventually wins. The tortoise eventually wins, but it does need to go at a much slower pace. And so once again, not rushing the money, not rushing the career stuff this month. I feel like a lot of you here, you're going to try to rush things this month a little bit. So you do need to just ease it back a little bit, and take things just a little bit more slower, and just remember that slow and steady wins the race. Career minded stuff, it's moving for work, things happening in good time, and doing the things for the long term for your career. So you might be sort of doing things in your career this month that you may not be seeing the results of those changes that you're making right here, right now, but longer term, those changes are sort of coming through. And moving for work, it's not necessarily that you're actually, picking up and leaving and moving. It's once again that very slow, steady, making preparations for future changes, for long-term goals within the career and money aspects there, that you're sort of setting yourself up for the future, I suppose, with the career and money. And it will have an impact here too on this book energy. Okay, paperwork, contracts, learning as you go, and then career, we have writing, taking classes, education, and law matters. Okay, I do also read the book energy for career very much as going over the accounts of your financials as well, just going through the books, making sure the books are all in the blue, not in the red, that kind of thing, going over the accounts, but it's very much about education and training as well. So that may be some of the moves that you're actually making, or starting to plan to make, or slowly starting to learn more skills, or train in some expanded kind of way, or think about doing some sort of further training to move forward in your career down the track. So once again, education, it's one of those things where you may not see the results from that education, or starting education immediately, but it's you're making the plan for the longer term, that if I do this extra training, if I do this, undertake this extra education, that yes, it's not going to affect me right here, right now, but a couple of years from now, when I finish the education and training, I will then be more qualified. Therefore, I can, go for promotions or different types of jobs and things like that. So it's more longer term, moving forward with the career and money. Looking at love for you, love and romance. Love and romance for our Geminis throughout October. Whoa. Half the deck throwing at me there. Love and romance for Gemini throughout October, please. Love and romance for Gemini in October. Very, very interesting energy here. It's kind of telling me a story about love here for you, Gemini. So I feel like for a lot of you, this has already kind of taken place, to be honest, because we see something that started off amazing. We have the paradise here. Happiness and joy, playfulness, enjoying each other, and the honeymoon phase. Okay, so this is really referring to the honeymoon phase of a relationship, and sort of talking about at the very beginning of this connection, this relationship, everything seemed like too good to be true. And do you know what? I think it was a little bit too good to be true. I hate to say it, Gemini, but come this month, you're really working through some issues here, because I feel like for a lot of you, this has already taken place, and you're just working through how this went down, kind of thing. Because we do then have the backstabbing card, followed by the golden mirror. So the backstabbing card is obviously, heartbreak and pain, separation and loss, deception and lies, a shocking attack. And then we have the golden mirror is all about love bombing, self-absorbed energy, one-sided connections, and narcissist energy as well. So I feel like this is you kind of processing some stuff that's happened already, that it's kind of like, well, what, it looked so good at first in that honeymoon phase. Everything seemed like it was going to be amazing. It was perfect. We were just really enjoying each other. I thought, we had a lot of happiness and playful energy, but then it just turned to this really quickly. It feels like it happened really quickly for a lot of you here. And it felt like getting stabbed in the back, because, 1 second, everything, I thought I was in paradise. And then the next second, this person turned out to not be that person I kind of fell in love with here. And so I feel a lot of you are just sort of working through this energy at the moment. So even if this has happened a while ago for you, Gemini, there's still just some stuff popping up throughout October that you're just processing and healing some stuff that's happened in the past here. I will clarify that, and then I will sort of get a couple of extra cards asking specifically for, what's going on in October's present energy, because that, once again, it just seems to be very, and I feel like for a lot of you, this is going back to that two minds kind of energy where you're in two minds about the way that you're looking at what happened. You're kind of like, it seems like there's this big question for you as like, well, was the paradise the truth, or was all this backstabbing energy the truth? You're kind of really struggling to balance out the two, and sort of realize that it was all the one person kind of thing. It's kind of like there was these two completely different sides to the situation, to the person, and you're really kind of struggling to find the balance of, well, who even were they in amongst all that? So there's just kind of a bit of mixed energy here. Clarify this energy for Gemini, love and romance throughout October for our Geminis. Yeah, okay, so we do start off with the bed here. Okay, so that talks about rest and, needing time to process and heal, and have some physical rest, and rest from, the whole specter of love and romance, so that you're able to process these things. So it's just kind of, I'll sleep on it kind of energy. I'm going to sleep on it and then see, how I feel tomorrow, or a week from now. I'm just going to allow myself to process these things, and sleep on it, think on it, leave it a little bit longer before I rush on into dealing with anything else straight away. But it's kind of enabling you to uh, work out exactly where you want to go from here. Once you sort of sleep on it, then it's like, then I'll make the decision about what does that mean and where does that take me from here. Because then we do see the crossroads and the key coming through. And so the crossroads is you really, starting to make new choices, and decide which path I'm going to go from here. Where does this take me? Where does this lead me? What decisions will I make in the future that are going to lead me to making different choices? Because the doorways, I really should just call this card the doorways, the key card, because it opens doorways, okay? And it's you deciding, if you're in a hallway full of doorways, you're deciding which doorways are going to give me the best results. And you're making those choices after, really, really resting on the past, and processing some stuff that's happened for you in the past, so that, next time you're not going to ignore that little red flag, that, next time you're not, you might actually look a little bit closer when things seem too good to be true. You might look a little bit closer, and think, oh, well, maybe I'll open a different door instead. And, with the key, there is a lot of success here. So whatever decisions you're making in regards to love and romance this month, you are moving in the right direction. No matter sort of which doorway you open here, because it's all, leading you to more successful opportunities in the future. So, you're kind of opening yourself up to make better choices, and find better opportunities in the future that are more, potentially successful for you in love and romance than what the past has kind of given you. Is there any actual, like, reality love and romance going on for Gemini in October, or are we just processing reality love and romance for Gemini in October? Not really, to be honest. Here, Gemini, you're just resting. Because firstly, we have the runner. Okay, I'm not even going to bother reading that out, because it is just talking about you kind of running away from the whole idea of it at the moment, because you know that need to process the energy of things that have happened in your love life and your past, when it comes to love, needing that rest time, that rest period before we sort of start chasing after love again. So we're running away from even having to deal with the thought of love right now, to be honest, because of this energy. We have the grounding card there. Okay, so just focusing on finding yourself, and finding stability and security within yourself, and growing, and learning how to endure in the future, and be a lot more stable, and find things more stable for yourself, that aren't going to be, bang this and then wow, change to this. I want that stable middle ground in the future. So, right now I'm just taking myself away from the whole idea of love and romance so that I can find that stability where I need to. Okay, but anything else? Is there anything else that Gemini needs to know in regards to October 2025? Any other important messages for Gemini in October? Anything else that Gemini needs to be aware of for October 2025, please? Pretty straightforward. You're moving away from, it's kind of, look on the hidden energy on the bottom of the deck. We have the mice there. Okay, so the past, we're moving away from the past because firstly we see the whip. Okay, so that's the past, the struggles, that sort of stuff. We're clearing that out. We're moving away from that because there's the ship. So the ship is sailing away from the conflict, the tension, the drama that we've been in, the arguments and fighting and that sort of stuff. We're moving away from that. We don't have time for that anymore, kind of thing. I'm picking up there. You're steering yourself away from those sorts of issues. And yes, you may still be very conflicted within your own mind space, but when it comes to your reality in your world, you're really wanting to move away from those conflicts and work out how do I make better choices in the future? How do I, choose a new direction that's not going to have all this pain and tension and drama, continually. I don't want that anymore. So how do I move away from that? And then we do see the feminine energy there as well. So, just nurturing your own emotions and coming to terms, I suppose, with your emotional world and the things that you've been through in the recent past here and just moving forward and nurturing yourself in new kinds of ways that you're addressing and accepting the emotions that you feel about the past, but allowing those to become the past and not continue to hold them in your present, as you're moving forward, trying to work out how to actually use that as fuel to make changes in the way that you're, taking opportunities and looking at opportunities when it comes to just, love mostly, but just everything in general. But the theme of the month for you, slow and steady, just take it as it comes kind of thing. Make sure you're grounding yourself and stabilizing yourself first before you worry about everybody else this month, Gemini. But that's what we have for you. You're more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all again soon.